Today's video is a review video on solving inequalities. This is just the standard mastery assessment number 3. So solving inequalities is very similar to solving equations, except there's more than one solution when you solve an inequality, hence that these number lines are covering more than one value. The red represents the solution area. So what we're going to do is we're going to solve each of these inequalities, and then we're going to figure out what number line represents their solution. So if we take the first inequality for number 1, we have negative 4x is greater than or equal to negative 28. And if you recall, the only things that are different about solving inequalities is when you flip when you divide or you multiply by a negative number, you have to flip the direction of the sign. So you can see here, if we're solving for x, the inverse, or what we need to do to eliminate this negative 4, is to divide since it's being multiplied. So we're going to divide, and then we're going to divide by the number that we want to eliminate, so negative 4. So you can see right now, we're dividing both sides by a negative number. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to flip the direction of the sign the other way. So it was pointed to the constant, now we're going to point it to the variable. So I'm going to erase this real quick. So we're going to point it this way, and we keep the equal to. So we have x is less than or equal to a negative divided by a negative is a positive, and 28 divided by 4 is 7. So we have x is less than or equal to 7. That is our answer for the first one. We have number 2 now. So we have 3 times 3x minus 3 is greater than or equal to negative 36. So what we're going to do is just simplify first by distributing, and we get 9x. 3 times a negative 3 is a negative 9 is greater than or equal to negative 36. And now we can go ahead and start using inverse operations. We're going to eliminate the subtraction by adding 9 to both sides. We have 9x is greater than or equal to negative 36 plus 9 is a negative 27. Now we're going to divide to eliminate the multiplication, so we're dividing 9 to both sides. We don't need to flip the sign because we're dividing by a positive number, so the sign stays the same direction. And a negative divided by a positive is a negative. 27 divided by 9 is 3. So we get x is greater than or equal to negative 3. And number 3 is 9 minus 2x is less than or equal to negative 4x plus 1. So what we have here is a inequality with variables on both sides, and just like with an equation, what we have to do is eliminate the variable term on one side. So I'm going to make this the variable side, I'm going to make this the number side. I'm going to start by using inverse operations to eliminate the variable term on the number side. So I'm going to add 4x to both sides, so I have 9, and then a negative 2x plus 4x is a positive 2x. Is less than or equal to, those are now gone to 0, and we're just left with this 1. Now we can go ahead and start using inverse operations. I'm going to start by eliminating the 9 that's being added out in front by subtracting 9 to both sides. And here we have 2x is less than or equal to 1 minus 9 is a negative 8. And now I can go ahead and eliminate the multiplication by dividing 2 to both sides. And what we get is x is less than or equal to a negative divided by positive is a negative, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. So we have x is less than or equal to negative 4. Now, if you recall, when we have an equal to, the dots should be filled in. And you can see that all of these are filled in, so all of these are still in play. So for number 1, this is saying all numbers that are less than or equal to 7. So I'm going to look for the number line that has 7 on it. So this is the 1. And then it's all numbers that are less than or equal to, so 6, 5, 4, 3. So we know that for number 1, our answer is C, because 8 is C. For number 2, we have x is greater than or equal to negative 3. So I'm going to go look for the number line that has negative 3, and it is this one right here. And it's saying all numbers that are bigger than or equal to negative 3. Well, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, those are all numbers that are bigger than negative 3, so I know that this one is the correct answer. So 9 would be D. And then for the last one, x is less than or equal to negative 4. So we're going to go to negative 4, and both of these have negative 4, so we know that it could be either of these, but this is saying x is less than or equal to, so numbers that are less than negative 4 would be like negative 5, negative 6, so negative 5, negative 6, negative 7. Those would be numbers that are greater than, so we know that 6 is our answer, so we're going to go ahead and put B. Now real quickly, I'm going to write down the answer. So we have x is greater than negative 3. And what was the last one? X is less than or equal to negative 4. So what I'm going to do is just quickly check. So if I think that number 1 is in fact 8, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a number from that number line other than the number that is right there. I'm going to take 5 and I'm going to put it in for x, and I'm going to see if it actually comes out true. So I'm going to put it in for x right here, and I'm going to see if this number is greater than or equal to negative 28. So negative 5 multiplied by negative 4 times 5 is a negative 20. And is negative 20 greater than or equal to negative 28? Yes, it is, because if I owe somebody $20, I'm a richer person than if I owed somebody $28. So that is correct. This is just how you check your answer. So for number 2, we chose 9. So I'm just going to take a number on the right side of negative 3. So I'm going to take negative 1, and I'm going to check my answer by putting it in the original inequality. So 3 times negative 1 minus 3. This number should be greater than or equal to negative 36. So negative 1 times 3 is a negative 3 minus 3. Negative 3 minus 3 is negative 6, and that was being multiplied to this 3 out here, and that's negative 18. So is negative 18 greater than or equal to negative 36? Yes, it is, because if I owe somebody $18, I'm a richer person than if I owed somebody $36. So that one is also correct. Well, I'm just going to check the last one real quick, and we got less than negative 4, so we'll just take negative 6. We get 9 minus 2 times negative 6 is less than or equal to negative 4 times negative 6 plus 1. So this number on the right side should be bigger than the number that we get on the left side. So we have negative 2 times negative 6 is a positive 12 plus 9. 9 plus 12 is a positive 21, is less than or equal to. Here we have negative 4 times negative 6 is a positive 24 plus 1. 24 plus 1 is 25. 21 is less than or equal to 25. That is true. So we know that for all of these, we got the correct solution.